Hi, gorgeous Virgo family. I'm very happy to be sitting down with you for the March 2019 reading. This is a powerful time of year for Virgo energy because it's Pisces season, your opposite sign. And I always call this time of year when the sun is opposing your energy as mirror season, right? It's a time when we get to see ourselves from the opposite vantage point. The energy is so that we get that beautiful ability to reflect, integrate, and relate in new ways. And the way that the energy is working in March, it's really focusing and emphasizing that kind of experience, I have to say, just in general for everyone. For you, of course, we have Pisces season, so that's happening till the 20th of March. We have a new moon in Pisces on the 6th. We have Mercury retrograde in Pisces beginning on the 5th, I believe. And we have all this energy that's highlighting your 5th house. Or your 7th house, your relational house, your mirror house, right? And not only that, but we still have Capricorn and Saturn, or Saturn and Capricorn, excuse me, so another fellow earth sign, and we have Uranus heading into Taurus for good until 2026, another fellow earth sign on March 6th, around the time we have the Mercury retrograde beginning and the new moon in Pisces happening. All of that energy is really working, I think, to Virgo advantage in a pretty profound way. But learning how to work with these transits and with this energy this month can be a little tricky. It's sneaky energy in some ways. I think the thing to kind of think about with this energy is that this is a really great time to integrate. Let me start shuffling the cards. This is a really great time to integrate. Mercury retrograde is always a beautiful time to assess, to reconnect with our bodies, with our spirit. Mercury retrograde in Pisces, we're really being asked to reconnect with our fantasies, with what we want to fantasize about. In Virgo, I think this is a really important time to play that game of fantasy. Let yourself have the fantasy. Devil came out. All right. That was the first card out for Leo too. Wow, okay, interesting. I think Saturn, well, we've kind of gotten used to Saturn and Capricorn, 8 of Cups. Wow. I think that it's still been kind of like, he's been doing some work in the background, and still holding us accountable for a lot. And, for you, having Saturn in your 5th house in Capricorn it's hitting up against like what you really value, what you really want to give of your heart, right? What you really want to give of your spirit. King of Swords. Got some personalities, Virgo. We got some personalities showing up for your March reading. But I think that this month is really a time to, dropping cards, excuse me, Hierophant. Wow. Interesting. Devil and Hierophant. We've got a lot, like those other earth sign energies are getting activated in a really powerful way to you. And it is symbiotic energy. To have Capricorn and Taurus getting so revved up and to have your ruling planet Mercury retrograde in your opposite sign, you can see how all of this is working together to help you reconnect with letting yourself have the fantasy. And that really is my note for you, the moon. And by the way, we have a full moon in Libra at 0 degrees of Libra. So in your neighboring sign, it will have just left Virgo and headed into Libra when that full moon happens. So you'll be feeling it. And it is hitting into this house of value, of what you love and value, of how you value yourself, how you value who's around you in your relationships. So you're getting a lot of these very practical placements, quite honestly. These placements are all, I dropped another card. All over the place. 8 of Swords. Okay, yes, even just looking at the moon and the 8 of Swords, this is integration energy. And the best thing I can tell you is don't fight against this process because it will give you gold, pure gold that you can walk away with and really live a fulfilling life with. So keep that in mind. But all these placements are really here to help you live a life that feels really in alignment with who you are. I think Virgo, I get the sense sometimes with this family that some of that dreaming and some of that hopefulness and that vibrancy and that like letting yourself get really ramped up and excited about something, 9 of Pentacles, has kind of gone by the wayside. And Five of Pentacles. And you are afraid that if you let yourself get that excitement again, and if you let yourself open up to the possibilities again, that somehow that will fail you, right? And the reality is that no, it won't. In fact, it's just about getting back into that practice, right? And Two of Wands is your overarching energy. Okay. So let's talk through these cards because, oh, and the other thing I wanted to mention is that we do have Chiron in Aries started in February, and we're getting used to these two long transits. Uranus and Chiron, they're going until 2026 and 2027. So we're working with these energies. We're getting used to this new transit. The Mercury retrograde is going to be really helpful for that. And so with that in your 8th house of transformation, you are learning how to be a little bit more open with your internal process with others around you. You are learning how to utilize like the more struggling aspects of your experience to help round out your life and to help with all your relationships and the people around you. It's a pretty powerful placement. If you're interested in me doing a Chiron Uranus transit report for each of the individual signs, let me know in the comments below, because I am really tempted to do that in March and get that material out for you so that you can utilize it to your best advantage. Okay. So let's start with these first 4 cards, because what I'm kind of noticing is during Pisces season, there's a lot of passionate, grounded, focused energy around you. And there's a lot of this like journeying, exploratory energy around you, interestingly enough, even with your ruling planet retrograde. Yeah, let's just look at these 4 all together. The Devil, 8 of Cups, King of Swords, and the Hierophant. It's funny to me because, you know, the Devil and the Hierophant, they're different energies. And so is the King of Swords. They're all different energies. It's like, and then you have this 8 of Cups in the midst of all these personalities, amidst these really intense balancers, because all 3 of those characters, Devil, King of Swords, and Hierophant, they're all about finding balance in different ways. The Devil is about finding balance and understanding what you're chained to, what you're holding on to, your version of relationship and what that looks like, your version of like what connecting with other people is like. And once again, Pisces season brings this up for Virgos pretty strongly. Just asking those questions about what does it mean to connect to somebody? What does it mean to care about somebody? Does it mean getting chained up in old obsessive routines? Or does it mean kind of opening up and moving on? And what I'm noticing here already is that there is this need for Virgos to leave a thought pattern behind, right? Or leave a situation behind, or leave a mental attitude behind in order to live this next life. And that's where I'm talking about. Let this be a month where you let your fantasies run wild. Not pressuring it, not fantasizing to get the fantasy, right? Like scripting and vision boarding where you get really like detail oriented and you say, I'm going to manifest this, but like having fun with it. You know, when you were a kid, you're an 8-year-old and you're playing outside on a beautiful summer afternoon and you decided to play whatever game with your friend where you're different characters. You just went ahead and played the game. You didn't think about what that was going to bring you, what the result was going to be from playing that game outside on the sidewalk for the rest of the day. You just played the game. And in that, you had so much fun. And when you came inside at the end of the day, you just felt revitalized and energized. And that's the point, right? So let your fantasies be at that level, right? But there is something about leaving behind that energy, leaving behind that kind of taskmaster mentality and going toward something a little different. These two, of course, you could be dealing with any of the signs that have to do with any of these, right? There's a Capricorn energy, there's a Taurus energy, there's like a Libran, Aquarian kind of energy going on here. Of course you could be. But the bigger thing to think about here is the quality of energy and what it's bringing up. And the thing with these two guys, so the adventurer here, he's going toward these two guys. And the thing I want you to keep in mind with this kind of energy right here is that these two are about focused intent, balanced, rational intent. They want to find a way to solve problems and make things work. They have this functional aspect to them, right? Which is really interesting. I think that that is something that flows with you quite well. But the other thing about these energies is they want to make progress as well. They want to make things happen. And so it's kind of this focus of what does it mean to have good thoughts that help you make things happen? What does it mean to connect? What does it mean to find balance, right? What does it mean to let yourself have that? And, the Hierophant is about commitment to something, right? The Hierophant, and it does represent Taurus, and it does represent that Uranus shift into Taurus, into revolutionizing the conventional, into revolutionizing our old routines. And the Hierophant is about old routines. He's about the old establishment in many ways. But we're getting this revolution about that. We're getting this electrical revolution when it comes to what our daily habits and routines are, and what it means to commit to something, what it means to connect with something is getting changed up. So you're getting a transformation or revolution from Devil to Hierophant, and that's really powerful, Virgo. And it may be that you're dealing with all of this, with all these personalities, and you're dealing with what you really want to take with you into the next phase of your life. This is a shift out, and you will be noticing what worked in past years is no longer working, and it comes up again and again. Now, the second half of the month is really interesting because you think that this Mercury retrograde in Pisces and Pisces season would be a little more challenging for you guys, but actually, as we move into Aries, we move into your 8th house energy, your energy of death and transformation. And we get that Libra full moon in your 2nd house, and we get to the last 10 days of the month. This is where you may be finding that those deeper themes are coming up and out of you, because I'm kind of seeing a lot of prosperity at the beginning of the month, a lot of focus and drive and prosperity and positivity coming in. And then that is triggering up something about your self-value, because when you look at these next 4 cards, what you see is a journey through value, a journey through your emotional feelings about your value, and a journey through scarcity mindset into abundance mindset, right? And choosing your thoughts with care. So, when the moon pops up with the 8 of Swords, this is a time of it's introspective. It's very deeply introspective. And what it's asking you to do here is, where are you stopping yourself from just having this beautiful thing that you want? You have all these beautiful commitment balance cards at the beginning of this reading. You have all this potential and this opportunity coming up with those energies that we were talking about. They're so rich and full of life and charisma and gusto. And there's something about the fact that all those doors are opening for you that is causing you to second guess it and to hold yourself back. So you're getting taken somewhere really deep here with the moon and the 8 of Swords, and you're being asked to look at what that is. Because there are 2 paths to walk here, my friends. 9 of Pentacles or 5 of Pentacles. And these really are oppositional, because the 9 of Pentacles is having everything you need, being totally at peace with what you have, and knowing you have exactly what you need. The 5 of Pentacles is being highly, highly aware of everything you're lacking, of all the places you feel shut out, of all the things you feel you haven't done. This is a very critical voice that starts to feel very real over time. And there's something about the opportunities that are coming in for you, the connections that are coming in for you, the love that is coming in for you, the opportunities to step fully into your fullness of being, that is causing you to have a moment where you have to choose. It's pulling you into emotional states that are causing you to look at the divide here. And when I see these cards, the first thing I think is, like, this is your opportunity to choose the happy fantasy, to choose the happy way, and it will deliver. I mean, this is a reflective universe. Speaking about mirror season, speaking about Aries and going into 8th house transformational energy, this is a reflective universe. So it's very important that when we hit up against these times where we really want to go back to those old thought patterns that served us when we were kids and we were surviving trauma, or when we were surviving somebody that was really critical of us, and so we came up with these timelines and these storylines in our head to protect us, they no longer serve when an opportunity is coming in. And we have to, it's a really powerful skill set to have when we can stop, check in, Notice that we're going there and choose the way that feels better, emotionally better, so that you're not torturing yourself. Because Virgos, I think you're very good at that. You're very good at putting that pressure on yourself, putting those high standards on yourself where you have to do it right. You have to do it the right way, the most thorough way, all of that, right? And here's the thing, the top card is the Two of Wands, and I always say this is the manifestation card of your dreams. Speaking of fantasy and dreamland and going for it, this guy is manifesting. He understands that you send the ripples out and they come back to meet you, and that there's this quiet pause as you're sending the ripples out that you have to just learn to enjoy, of all the possibilities that are going to come back to you, and that understanding that the mechanism of the universe is this. You put out your requests, and the more heartfelt they are, where it's that playful 8-year-old self just asking for fun and with joy, the more you put that kind of request out there and you relax about it, the better. And then that gets sent out as ripples into this cosmic machinery that is so infinitely complex. It is hard for us to fathom, really, truly. And you send out your requests, you send all the ripples out vibrationally to the mechanisms, and there's this quiet pause here while all those mechanisms are readjusting, sorting themselves out, getting all clicked into place. And yeah, you could sit there and think, nothing's happening. I've asked for this and nothing is happening. Some requests take a while for all the mechanisms to click in, including your own frequency, right? Some are pretty fast. But you've got to let that mechanism do its work. And that's what this guy is doing. He's looking at the world. He understands that all of that's happening and that it's about to come back. So this is a month where you may feel like this guy. And honestly, here's the other side of that, though. You may be feeling that because I think this is just the beginning of a lot of big adventure for the Virgo fam. But also pay attention to what you do have here, because look at all this. You have a lot of really good stuff coming up. You have a lot of powerful energy all around you already that you can tap into right away. So if you're not acknowledging that, it won't feel very good. And the universe will have a hard time delivering more to you if you can't really recognize that that's going on. So don't get like dysmorphic about your story and your path. It's very easy to do that after a time that's been a little harder or a little heavier. For those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, it's been kind of a heavy hitting winter. We've all been kind of going through a deep reassessment of ourselves. I think it's been kind of hard on our bodies. I know in the Southern Hemisphere, some of you have had really hot days and really brutally hot summer days as well. So I know that we're each kind of going through the intensity of the season before we're shifting into the next year. But so there's been kind of a harshness, and I think we've all been kind of pulling back and feeling a little nervous to reopen. This is a fantastic time to do so, right? We are shifting seasons in March. We are shifting into a new energy cycle in March. Pisces into Aries is highly magical time. So it's a fantastic time to kind of leverage your shifting desires and leverage the shift of who you want to become and who you want to represent yourself as in the world around you. So I'm going to close it out there. You can work with me. I'd love to work with you, Virgo fam. You just can find me on Instagram at SARAHVerba. The best way to get in touch with me is either to visit my website, SARAHTAROT.com, or email me at info@SARAHTAROT.com. If you want to set up a session, you can do all of that through my website. I'm booking a few months in advance, so you want to plan ahead. I'm also wearing PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry, so go check her out. She's giving you that 15% off. And I want to tell you about one of my other really dear friends, because really what I'm doing here is I just love talking about my friends and sharing their work with them, because they do amazing things that inspire me daily. My friend Taylor does amazing holistic business coaching one-on-one, where you really get a sense of what you need as far as putting yourself out there on social media, how to tell your story, how to connect it all. She's a really great person and a really trusted and experienced being that will be fantastic for any of you who are looking for that kind of guidance. So I'll leave her website and her Instagram below so you can contact her if you're interested in something like that. I love you guys so much. I will see you for more Moon Magics, for more specials. I can't wait to continue this journey with you all. I love you so much.